Just moments away from introducing the class of 2025 for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. But before we do that, we do have some gift presentations we would like to honor, beginning with our title sponsor, the El Paso Sports Commission. In fact, I welcome up President Ruben Ramirez along with Janet Vargas, President of the Sports Commission, and Tony Rodriguez, the Sports Tourism Strategist. So Tony and Janet, please come up here to our stage. Thank you to the El Paso Sports Commission, our title sponsor for tonight's banquet. Also, I would like to welcome up here our immediate past president, Dr. Scott Stein, who will also receive a special gift from President Ruben Ramirez.
No.
That looks good. No. Is that right? It is. Oh, fantastic. Hey, congratulations. And finally, we have one more presentation. This is going to go to President Ramirez from the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Okay. We're good, right? We're good? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to meet the class of 2025? Now, I am super excited to introduce our inductees and honored guests. They will be walking up here to the stage, and man, they even have their own walk-up music. How great is this? When the Hall of Famers get to pick their walk-up music, I am excited about that. So why don't we begin with our first inductee tonight in the media category. He's accompanied by his wife, Sheila Mensch. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Mensch.
Joe, you can stand like this. Just go back to your seat. Go with Ruben. There you go, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Joe. Next, in the living athlete category, accompanied by his wife, Martha Ruth Kirkley, let's hear it for Bobby Rodriguez Kirkley.
Feels so good to make it this far.
I don't know who thinks this. Good, Bobby. Good job. Good job, Bobby.
But I held
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Martha. Bobby's walk-up song, Dear God. Next, in our living athlete category, accompanied by her mom, Anita Chambers, and her walk-up song, Bigger by Beyonce, let's hear it for Kendra Chambers Coleman. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Anita. And our final member in the living athlete category, accompanied by her dad, Eduardo Hinojo, and her walk-up song, Monaco by Bad Bunny. Let's hear it for Natalia Hinojo. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Eduardo. In the coach administrator category, accompanied by his wife, Shay Herman, and his walk-up song, the great Elton John, I'm Still Standing. Here he is, Corey Herman. Yeah. Thank you, Corey, and thank you, Shay. And our final member in the coach administrator category, accompanied by her husband, David Ortega, and her walk-up song, Run This Town by Jay-Z and Rihanna. Let's hear it for Coach Yesenia Alarcon Ortega. Thank you, Yesenia. Thank you, David. Now, in the trainer officials category, as a trainer and accompanied by his wife, Priscilla Smelzer, and his walk-up song, Journeys Don't Stop Believin', let's hear it for Scott Smelzer. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Priscilla. And finally, tonight, in the posthumous category, representing Leon Wade is his daughter, Brandy Wade, his son, Lawrence Wade, and their walk-up song, Queens, We Are the Champions.
Yes.
There you have it, our class of 2025 for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Now, throughout the evening, with the Hall of Famers on stage, and at other times, please do not leave your seating area to take photos or come to the stage. All pictures should be taken from your seated area, and please don't block those around you. Only Brian Kanoff, the official photographer for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, will be allowed here in the stage area. Also, please note all photos from tonight will be posted on the Hall website listed in your program and on the Hall's Twitter or X account, along with Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. This is my favorite announcement here. The official account is the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame Facebook page. Be aware of fake and old Hall of Fame social media accounts, as everybody wants to duplicate the success and magic of the class of 2025 and the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. As we mentioned earlier, tonight's event would not be possible without our sponsors, and we'd like to recognize all of our sponsors at this time. Beginning with our title sponsor, the El Paso Sports Commission. Our diamond sponsors, Dr. Jim Bowden and Jerry Rubin. Our platinum sponsors, Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso, Dr. Scott Stein, Brian Kennedy of Brian Kennedy Law, and Brian Kanoff Photography. Our gold sponsors tonight, Gene Semko, James Arthur Flip Lyle, El Paso Association of Builders since 1946, and Flo Valdez. Finally, our silver sponsors, Mountain Pass Coffee Company, Rita Aguilar, Jerry M. Ward CPA, Bob Azar family, Bruce and Greta Reichman, Westar Bank, and Fred and Christy Albers. Also, not in attendance tonight, we have a couple of honorees we would like to recognize from the University of Texas at El Paso endowed scholarships. The John C. Burkhead and Dick Chenot Memorial Scholarship goes to Jose L. Aguirre. He's a sophomore from right here in El Paso, and he's majoring in kinesiology through the College of Health Sciences. Jose Aguirre. And the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame Fund will honor Hallie Hogan in the softball team. She's a center fielder for the Miners, and she is a junior majoring in the College of Health Sciences from Buckeye, Arizona. In your programs tonight, please read over the memoriams. And we would like to also mention our Hall of Famers and family members who have passed away too early in life. And thanks to Hall of Famer Ed Stansberry for the graphics you are about to see. Danny McKillop was an amazing track and field coach at El Paso High, winning a state championship, and where the track at El Paso High now bears his name. John Sanders was an amazing athlete at UTEP in basketball in the 1950s. He was also a great basketball coach at MIT and well known for his administrative excellence with El Paso Independent School District over the years. Bobby Goldfarb was one of the most heralded tennis players ever in the Sun City, and his son-in-law Ross Walker and granddaughter Sarah Walker Scott are also in the Hall of Fame. Buford Morrison won hundreds of medals in the El Paso Senior Games over the years and was an amazingly skilled athlete in both baseball as well as basketball. Bobby Elliott was a longtime coach and trainer at Irvin and Andrus High Schools and an excellent track coach and athletic trainer over the years. Carol Olivas Mendoza, the sister of Hall of Famers Sal and Bernie Olivas, a valuable volunteer for hundreds of youth in Northeast El Paso. James Munyala was one of the greatest runners in the rich history of UTEP long-distance runners. He was also a 2012 inductee into the UTEP Hall of Fame, followed by a 2013 selection into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Mary Haskins will always be known as the First Lady of UTEP basketball, and though married to the Bear, Don Haskins, with a son Steve, who's also in the Hall of Fame, Mary was as kind-hearted a person as you could ever meet. Benny Brooks has been a champion on all levels of coaching in the parochial, private, and public schools, while being a friend to all coaches with a beautiful family spread out across the country as coaches themselves. Again, we honor all of those who we've lost. At this time, I would also like to thank KVIA TV for streaming tonight's event live at kvia.com. Thank you as well to Super Chef and their great staff for all the food tonight. How did everybody like our dinner, folks, from Super Chef? Terrific job, everybody. Terrific job. Also, I'd like to make this announcement. We'll see how this holds up tonight. Each inductee has 5 to 7 minutes when they come up here. At the 7-minute mark, and trust me, Wayne Thornton has a stopwatch that he really keeps close tabs on. At that 7-minute mark, the walk-off music will start, and it will sound like this. And now, so I face the final curtain. All right, so now that we've gotten everything out of the way tonight, let me double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. No, we are good. Is everybody ready to meet your Hall of Famers for 2025? All right, I am too, so we will begin with this gentleman who was born in Neenah, Wisconsin, which of course, as we all know, is the heart of Green Bay Packer country. That's right. How many Packer fans we have here tonight? How many became Packers fans because of Aaron Jones? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now you're all Minnesota Vikings fans. I get it. Well, listen, he came to this area in 1966 when he enrolled at New Mexico State University to play baseball. However, he found out very soon that his baseball career, thanks to an injury, was coming to a quick end, so he decided instead to start working in sports media, specifically in the sports information department at New Mexico State. He worked his way up. 4 years after NMSU, he took a summer internship job at the Las Cruces Sun News. Became a pretty good decision because he became sports editor in 1971 and stayed all the way until 1985 when he moved over to El Paso and the El Paso Herald-Post. In fact, you think about what this individual did at the Post and at the El Paso Times. Few people can say that they had a 40-year career in journalism, and the majority of it was spent right here in El Paso. He's covered it all. Sun Bowls, Super Bowls, Final Fours, other NCAA tournaments, bowl games galore. But when you ask him what he's most excited about, he'll always tell you his family. That's what means the most to him, and that's why we're so excited that his family was all able to come from across the country to join in his celebration tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick it off right in our media category with our 2025 Hall of Famer, Joe Minch.
When I got the email today that limited the speaker to 5 to 7 minutes, I say, well, you can't even thank everybody in 5 to 7 minutes. So, okay, I won't. I'll get to the main event. Excuse me. When you're a sports writer and it comes to Saturday night, where are you? You're not out with the other couples. You're not at the movies with other couples, hanging out at other couples' houses with the guys drinking beer in the back and the women talking in the kitchen. Now you're at the Sun Bowl or you're at the Haskins Center. So Saturday nights, the poor wife or the husband has to stay home. And that's what happened with us for 50 years, actually. We had a 5-year-old son when we had quadruplets in 1981. And while I was at the Sun Bowl, right in the press box, eating pizza, fried chicken, enchiladas, all the free food that we got up there, all the Cokes you could drink. So Sheila was home, and she never, ever once said why do you have to do that? Never, ever once. She always backed me forever. One Christmas morning, CBS had the nerve to make the Sun Bowl play on a Christmas day. That was terrible. Even the Sunnies were saying, oh, it's wonderful. We can open our presents and then come out to the Sun Bowl game. A year later after that was, we sure hated that, boy. Because on a Christmas morning, I was out doing sports, and I loved every minute of it. And Sheila let me do it. So she won this award just as much as I did, and I love her very much. And one more thing, Sheila, you're the prettiest girl in the room.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Mensch. I didn't mention this at all when I introduced Joe, but Joe and I have a long history together. He spent many, many, many years on Sports Talk, long before I got there, with John Teicher and some of our other hosts. And then I was fortunate enough to get to work with Joe Monday afternoons for, it seems like, about half of my career. And he was there every week. He took all the pressure off me because when Joe spoke, he usually lit up the phone lines. And when Joe stopped coming on with me, he said, okay, now it's your turn. You can go ahead and tick off everybody in El Paso and have them start calling you. So thank you, Joe. It's been great getting a chance to know you professionally and personally, and I am so happy that you're here with us tonight in the Hall of Fame. We now move to the Living Athlete category. And when I first heard our next inductee's resume, it was very impressive, especially for somebody who was not even originally born in El Paso. He was born in wine country, Bordeaux, France. That's right. But he moved to El Paso at a very young age, grew up here, and immediately took to playing basketball. First at Burgess for then freshman head coach Tony Harper, who just retired as one of the winningest high school coaches in the history of basketball. But after playing for Coach Harper, he transferred out to Parkland High. And that's really when he began to shine. All the honors started coming his way. All district, all city, not once, but twice. MVP of Parkland as well. And it took him to Eastern New Mexico University, where he earned a full ride. And playing in the mid-70s with the Greyhounds, you would think, well, you know, it's great to have an opportunity to play college basketball. Not for this gentleman. He continued to light it up, averaged over 30 points a game. In fact, second leading scorer in the history of the program. And he won every NAIA honor you could possibly win, including an All-American. In fact, he once dropped 50 points against New Mexico Highlands. And he's also, listen to this, the only player in the history of NAIA basketball to be invited to play in the Pizza Hut All-Star Game, which back then was sponsored by Wilson. Pretty incredible. So you can understand why he would have been inducted into the Eastern New Mexico University Hall of Honors, but tonight we get him here as part of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me my pleasure to welcome up to the podium Bobby Rodriguez Kirkley.
Feels so good to make it this far, and I didn't think I could take it so long. I said, surely this is it, but I held on.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Amen.
It's a great honor to be here. I put notes out because it's danger to give a preacher a mic and then tell them 5 minutes. Well, they figure it'll take 5 minutes for every person in here, so that adds up to a whole different number. But I did that to make sure I stayed in line and stayed on time. I don't want to hear that music playing so much, but it's a great honor to be here. We drove 20 hours to get here from Indianapolis, Indiana, with West Lafayette. We're going to drive 20 more next in the morning to go back home, but it was worth the trip. Everything that happened, everything that took place from this community college, El Paso has grown so much and so large. I thank the president here, President Ramirez, Lord. I thank God for him and all that he done and all the board that worked with him. I thank for anyone that did anything, even down when we went down to the county building, everything that took place. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I also had to meet some old friends. One person I know, he's the only person I know that shot 70 points in a game. And one of the shots he made, he done it at the jump ball at the other end of the court. He tapped the ball in. I never broke his record, praise the Lord. But anyway, he came up to talk to me. I thought it was a great honor to see him and many others. But I want to make sure I just kind of give God first all the glory. The song I picked it on purpose because it spoke of my life. I can say honestly, it was not always easy, and I believe sports helped me train myself for the hard times, for those times when things were not going well. You know, I know a lot of people go to El Paso High. Is that the name of the school? Yes, I think it is. And they always gave me a headache, and I didn't like playing them because the score usually was like 30 to 31. So that means I didn't score that many points. But they always pass the ball around. I always remember that, and I always used to think about it. I said, oh my goodness, it's going to be a long night tonight. But it's good to be here. So I'm going to read this, so therefore I won't go over time, hopefully. I see Wayne moving back there very carefully. I just turned 70 this year, well last year. And 70 is a great marker in a life. In the Bible, it frequently speaks of completion. It means fullness. It means divine order. It means the fact that God and his plans is working and you're coming to a close of many things that's happening. So this year marks a lot just to be here on y'all's 70th anniversary. It really says a whole lot. First, I want to give glory, like I said, and honor to God. Without his hand on my life, I wouldn't be standing here today, and there's no lie. Every door that opened, every challenge I overcame, every turn in the road, for there were many, it was all directed by him. I can't say I always went along willingly, but he has a way to shut every door that you only have one choice of a door. Oh, okay, praise the Lord. Tonight is a testimony of his same grace working again and again in my life by this happening. I never thought this would ever be. I never looked to it and so forth, and I really hardly ever knew of it in the reality because I left in 1980, and I've been gone for a long time. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. Basketball wasn't on my radar at first. I was a bowler. I was the #1 state bowler in the state. I was also in football. And my father wanted me to play football, but I didn't want to play. I'll tell you honestly what happened. I was breaking too many bones without trying. My best friend reminds me of the fact it shows my wife why I snapped his right here in his right arm. I snapped it, hit him so hard, but he hit so hard, I had to hit him first. So I stopped. But it was amazing to me. It said basketball was not on the radar at first. It became afterwards. Most people thought I would play football because of my size. But God had something else in mind. Freshman year of high school, I picked up the basketball and realized this feels right. It sparked a passion that would carry me through years of growing, training, and many victories. I didn't look like the regular basketball player. I moved to Parkland my sophomore year, and that is when I really started to excel and became a standout player. My junior year, I averaged 27. I averaged 11 rebounds and made all regional. My senior year, I averaged 30 points and 12 rebounds, and I was named all district both years. I was recruited by Eastern New Mexico University and attended all 4 years of my college there. By my senior year, I was averaging 31 points a game. I led the nation in scoring, and also I became an All-American. That year, I led the nation in scoring and also became, like I said, the first one ever in Greyhound history and NAI history to be even given the opportunity to become to the Pizza Hut Basketball Classic, where Michael Thompson was on my team, Maurice Cheese was on my team. Some of the great players that have retired were on my team. Now you see their children playing. It really was amazing to be out there. Honors and recognition came afterward, and eventually the professional recruiters started watching. It seemed like the dream was right there at my grasp. But during my junior year, something even greater happened. There was a campus ministry, and they got together and they started fasting and praying for me for 1 year for me to get saved. At that point, when that happened, it turned my life totally around. It changed me, my whole direction. I thought for sure basketball was the answer, and found out he had something else in mind that I didn't have in mind, and that was becoming a pastor. I've been a pastor here at the church I'm at for 20 years, and I was a pastor 10 years before that, so I've been pastoring for about 30 years altogether. I really believe the fact that basketball in its own way and this discipline involved in it to be the best helped me understand even being a pastor, working as a team, helping each other, making sure everyone's back, everybody's together. And even where I'm at now, the church I'm at now is outstanding. I want to first thank my wife who has stood by me for 31 years. Thank you, Martha Ruth, my lovely wife standing over here, sitting over here. Been like my best friend. Stuck to me ups and downs. I want to also thank Wayne Thornton. We go all the way back to grade school. And we played basketball together. He was always there supporting me, encouraging me all the time. I'd like to also thank my pastor, now head pastor, Jeff John in Whitehorse Christian Center, who was involved making sure I get here. They made sure everything was taken care of, what I needed. It was a true blessing altogether. And also I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee with the Hall President Ruben Ramirez for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. Lastly, I think I'm making it. This Hall of Fame induction is not just about athletic achievements to me. It's about the victories of faith, of choosing obedience over fame, of trusting God when the path isn't easy. It's about how sometimes the greatest trophies are not the ones we put on our shelves. They are the ones written in our hearts. God bless you. Thank you so much. Amen.
You almost made it, buddy.
I didn't think I could take it so long. There were days I wanted to quit. I said, sure,
Bobby Rodriguez Kirkley. Okay. It's time now to meet our next Hall of Famer in the living athlete category. I had a chance to talk to her on the radio, I believe it was yesterday, and man, oh man, she is somebody that could definitely carry a conversation and probably host the show herself, because so well spoken, and I can easily see how motivational speaking would be in her forte for what she was able to accomplish. Funny when you think about someone who grows up in El Paso, goes to Hanks, and dominates her sport at the high school level. And when you say what is dominating, well, when you win a gold medal at the UIL Track and Field State Championships in the Class 5A 400 meters, that's dominating your sport. And as soon as she left Hanks, she had an opportunity to start at UTEP in track and field and began her career with the minors. But shortly after that, she decided to transfer to the University of Texas. When she arrived in Austin, that's really when she started to shine on the track and do things that were just absolutely incredible. You think about her achievements. 8 All-American honors in the 400 and the 600 meters indoors, as well as the 800 meters, and then the 4x400 meter relays outdoors, multiple Big 12 championships, and then representing Team USA and having an opportunity to try to make the U.S. Olympic team. That's pretty much the ultimate dream come true for this Hall of Famer. And she's still involved in USA Track and Field, and somebody that now gets a chance to work with young athletes as well. But when you get a chance to meet Kendra Chambers Coleman here in a moment, you'll understand why the inspiration and what she's accomplished just comes so naturally to her when she'll speak to all of you here in just a few moments. So I'd like to welcome to the podium in our living athlete category, Kendra Chambers Coleman.
Thank you so much. Whew, I'm going to take a breath. Good evening. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to start off by thanking God, who gave me the gift and ability to run and blessing me with such an amazing support system. I want to also thank the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame members and staff for this incredible honor and for this week. It's been amazing. I truly feel grateful and honored to be among this amazing class of 2025 and now among the group of this distinguished members. I want to thank the city of El Paso. You guys are amazing. The sports writers and news channels, the people of the city, for just the support and all the stories that I get to read online when I'm back home in Houston. Thank you. I also want to thank my family who has always supported me. Thank you for traveling to track meets, events like this, and just always being there and celebrating my successes. Thank you so much. Gracias a toda mi familia. Te amo mucho. I also want to thank my husband, Courtney Coleman, for loving me for over a decade and allowing me to pursue this career. It's cost both of us a lot of sacrifice. However, he's always been supportive. He's never rushed me out of the sport. And I just want to say thank you, my love. And to all of my coaches, from Desert View Middle School to Hanks High School to UTEP to UT Austin, to my pro coaches in San Antonio, Philadelphia, and Austin, thank you so much. However, there are two coaches I want to mention that have truly changed my life, and they're both here tonight. Coach Kimberly Gomez, a decorated coach at Hanks High School and another Hall of Fame inductee, thank you for pulling me off the soccer field and encouraging me to try out for the track team. Most importantly, thank you for just being instilling confidence in me, teaching me to be patient and how to execute a race well. I'll always remember those summer days when you, Daddy Phillips, and I would stay out late and work on our start. Thank you forever for your belief. I will cherish our time together. I love you, Kim. Thank you. I just started. And to my professional coach, Rose Monday. She's the 2021 Olympic head coach of Team USA and a decorated middle distance and hurdles coach, as well as an athlete. Thank you, Rose. You truly changed my trajectory of my track career. And there's so many words that thankful is not the word, okay? It's not good enough. Together, we shocked a lot of doubters. We were able to be consistent meet after meet, year after year, make 2 teams for Team USA, and we made the top 20 all-time list in the 600 meters indoor. And that means 20 all-time anyone ever, any woman to step on the track. And we traveled the world running together and running fast and taking names. Thank you for loving me, for seeing me beyond the athlete, for housing me. You saw me for me, and you were always honest with me. Thank you. I love you, Roses. And last but not least, to my mother, Anita Chambers. I struggle to find the right words, but thank you, Mommy. Your sacrifice, your strength, your love. Your love has no bounds. It's reached me at Hanks, in Austin, in practice in San Antonio, in Oregon, in Italy, in London, and over the phone when I was completely devastated over a bad race. Your love got me back up again, time and time again. You always told me I could be done whenever I wanted to, and it wouldn't change a thing. You screamed for me when I ran a PR. You cried with me when I limped across the line. You felt my nerves thousands of miles away, and you prayed for me. My prayer is that, Mommy, I hope I get to be a mother like you someday. You can write a book on how to love a daughter who runs track. Mommy, thank you. You are forever the champion of my life. I love you. Okay, I want to take these last few couple of minutes, because I'm timing myself, to truly capture what this journey means to me. I don't know if I can, but I'll try my best. First, I wanted to say something about my life and my track and field career, which is that it did not come without immense sacrifice. And I'm not talking about the sacrifice that you're probably picturing right now of me running the grueling workouts in the hot sun and trying to push myself to the limits of my ability to one day make an Olympic team. Not that sacrifice, but rather the bigger one. I'm talking about the sacrifice for me to be able to do it. Many times we hear of people never fulfilling their dreams, so they let that part of them die along with a heart full of what ifs. My story is not that. My story is what it looks like when people around you love you enough to let you chase a dream, no matter the odds, the probability of you actually making it come true, the definition of true unconditional love and support. So my speech today and my induction and this honor today is dedicated to them. The people in this room, and some who aren't, who really paid the ultimate sacrifice for me and my career, and for that, I'm forever thankful. In closing, I grew up on the east side of El Paso, running fast in my grandma's backyard, playing soccer at the local YMCA. I attended Loma Terrace Elementary School, Desert View Middle School, J.M. Hanks High School. I was a multi-sport athlete and a dancer. I never dreamt I'd be standing up here today. I'd never thought I'd run in 3 consecutive Olympic trials in 2016, 21, and 24, my last one. People told me to my face I wasn't supposed to be here, I would never make it. But track and field saved my life, and it placed me on this path and to this exact moment that I share with you tonight. So as a living testament, I'll leave you with this. Sacrifice is an interesting word. Many times you can't see all sides of it. When you feel like you're making a huge sacrifice in your life, look a little closer. You'll see that holding you up are the people who take the time to love you, to give you rest, who pray for you, and allow you to chase your dream with no strings attached. Thank you for all of those who sacrificed for me to achieve this tremendous track and field career. This is for you, and I am forever, forever grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Kendra Chambers Coleman. It's time now to meet our final inductee in the Living Athlete category, and she is also an El Paso native and somebody who simply dominated her sport like nobody has before. She went to high school at Montwood High, and when you think about what she was able to do as an amateur wrestler, dominance is the one word that really comes to mind. Undefeated Texas State champion. Let me repeat that. Undefeated Texas State champion, which is really remarkable. 4 times she was a high school All-American, a national runner-up, and also the first ever El Pasoan to win the Fargo Freestyle National Championships. So you think about all the accolades she had in high school, and you wonder, well, what did she do when she went to college? Well, she had her mind set on going to Oklahoma City University, and she dominated there just like she dominated at Montwood. In fact, she was a national champion at Oklahoma City University. She was a 2-time World Team Trials qualifier. She tried for the Olympic team as well in 2016, as well as the 2019 U.S. Open. Folks, we've had some incredible athletes through the years honored for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, but I don't know if we've ever had anybody quite as dominant in her sport as she was when she was both here at UTEP and then in college. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome in our next El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame inductee. Let's hear it for Natalia Hinojo. Congratulations.
Okay, hi, good evening. My name is Natalia, and I just want to start out by congratulating all of the other inductees that we have. Ruben has mentioned before that we have a strong class, and I would like to agree. I think we're all pretty dope, if you ask me. I am just so honored and truly blessed to have been selected and standing before you here today. And so I've gone through these past few days of celebration and festivities, and I've had some time to think about where and how I've gotten to where I am today. And first and foremost, my family, and I cannot emphasize enough how important my parents have been throughout this whole journey. I do have to give a special shout out to my dad. Shout out Eddie. The man that spent thousands of hours and hours teaching me how to throw and catch a ball just for me to give up softball and pursue wrestling. I'm sorry, Dad. I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I promise it was worth it. I want to thank my siblings who have been the core and my motivation throughout all of this. They've had to endure sitting through hours at a gym just for me to wrestle for 3 minutes, and of course having to deal with my crabby moods during the ruthless weight cuts. My family, the ones that are here right now, and the ones that are watching at home, who have always been the loudest and craziest bunch in the gym, and always the ones that I can hear in the middle of a match. I am forever thankful and blessed to have the best support system I could ever ask for. I want to thank Leo Garcia, who was my high school wrestling coach. He knew I didn't know a lick of wrestling, but welcomed me with open arms and introduced me to the sport that would soon save my life. Coach Leo also introduced me to Archie Randall, who soon became my wrestling coach at Oklahoma City University and was another significant human and impact that in my life. And Archie was never the gentle parenting type, if anybody ever knows him. He's also from El Paso, but he knew how to motivate me and how to push me past my own limits, and for that I will always be grateful. I want to give a big thank you to my husband, Jacob, who has never questioned or complained when I get a phone call to do a camp in California with a 2-day notice. I love you. Thank you. And he really has always supported me and my love for this sport. And I mean, I can go on, and overall, I really wouldn't be here without every coach that has taught me something, every athletic trainer that has taped an elbow or iced a shoulder, every teammate and competitor that has pushed me and to and past my limits. I really wouldn't be here without them today. I truly have to thank also the people that told me that I couldn't do it. In high school, I had a coach tell me that I would never be successful in wrestling. And within the next 2 years, I was an undefeated state champion, multiple All-American, and national champion. I had a college professor tell me that school wasn't for me and I should drop out. And I continued to get my national championship as well as graduate with a bachelor's in biomedical sciences. I had a coach tell me that I was the biggest waste of talent that they've ever seen after I lost my first national championship showing. And the following year, I not only won a national championship, but I also qualified to world team trials and Olympic trials. And then, of course, I had a coach tell me that I didn't deserve my national championship because I didn't beat his wrestler. Well, I happened to wrestle her my first match out at Olympic trials, and I won. Long story short, I feel like and anybody that's watching right now, and any young girl, any young wrestler that thinks that or has ever been told that they can't do it, I would beg to tell them that, watch me, see what I can do, because that has been my motivator overall. This night and this honor is just so special, not just for me, but any female wrestler watching as well. Being the only wrestler and also a female wrestler inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's truly special. As I said earlier, tell me that I can't and watch me do it. I want to tell them that you can too. You have to be a special kind of crazy to really love wrestling, because it sucks. You're hungry, you're dehydrated, everything hurts, and you got to wake up for practice or to get up and cut some weight again. But if you're that special kind of crazy, I promise you it will all be worth it. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Let's hear it again for Natalia Hinojo. It's time now to meet our first inductee in the Coach Administrator category. And I'm pretty excited because this is somebody that I've known ever since he first came to El Paso 26 years ago. And he came here to play hockey. How many of you remember the El Paso Buzzards? Well, in 1999, the El Paso Buzzards were back-to-back champions, and they were dominating the then Western, I believe it was the Western Professional Hockey League, or was it the Western States Professional Hockey League? Western Professional? Wiffle? All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Always nice to get just a little extra help while I'm up here. It's been a long time, a lot of years. But here's what ends up happening. Interestingly enough, you know, you get injured in all sports, it happens. He gets hurt and is told he can't play hockey anymore. So you're at a crossroads in your life, right? What do? You can't play hockey. You're in El Paso. It's a long ways away from Saskatchewan, where he's from. But good news. He still had a year on his contract, which meant he stuck around. And, well, the rest is really history, because even though he couldn't play, he got involved in youth hockey. And that's really where this whole journey has taken us all these years later. In fact, we lost the Buzzards. They went under. But we saw the birth of the El Paso Rhinos. And we also saw the birth of youth hockey in El Paso and the El Paso Hockey Association. And I'm going to say this right now, if it wasn't for this man, we would not have an ice rink near right next to the Coliseum. We would not have hockey here. It would have gone away and just been a memory. But not only did he keep it alive and bring the Rhinos here, but he became the coach. And his brothers came to town, and they joined the operation. And somebody that was a former teammate of his with the Buzzards, who stayed in El Paso, joined the operation. And together, they formed one of the most dominant hockey programs, not just here in El Paso, but anywhere. If you've ever gone to an El Paso Rhinos game, you see the banners hung everywhere, all the championships. He's won a national championship. And if that wasn't enough, how about winning a contest sponsored by Kraft that not only gave the winning city upgrades in 6 figures to their ice rink, but then brings in an NHL exhibition game to El Paso, Texas. Something that I honestly thought I would never see in my lifetime, but it became reality. When you look at what this individual has done over all these years, he absolutely deserves his place here in the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Gordie Howe might be known as Mr. Hockey, but in El Paso, Corey Herman is Mr. Hockey. Let's welcome him up as our next inductee for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations, man. You got it.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. It's a truly an honor. Very humbling and thankful and very, very appreciative. Congratulations to all the other inductees. Thank you to the Hall of Fame. You know, I think my award, like, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Guess I would be the first one to do this, eh? There's hundreds and hundreds of people that have had their hand in making the ice rink what it is today. And I think, like, this award is for all of them as well. I'd like to thank my wife and my son. You know, I'm pretty sure on her list of people that she was going to marry, I don't think Saskatchewan farmer / hockey player was on it. And I didn't think she'd probably be so heavily involved in the ice rink and also the Rhinos team, but I thank her for that. So back, the way I got here, it's kind of a funny story. I was playing hockey in Canada. I was in our college hockey house, and I got a phone call from Todd Brose, and he's like, you know, do you want to come play for the El Paso Rhinos? And I was playing college hockey at that time, and I was like, yeah. And he goes, okay, we'll pay you $325 a week. And I was like, can you make it $350? And he said, deal. I was like, okay. So I call out my dad. My dad's your typical Saskatchewan farmer. And I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to go down to El Paso to play hockey. He goes, El Paso? And I was like, yeah, El Paso. And he's always been very, very honest. He goes, son, let me just take this advice. He says, you work very, very hard, and you're kind of tough, but goal scoring, you're not so good. And I was like, well, come on, Dad. And he goes, son, you only scored 4 goals last year. So anyways, I make my trip to El Paso. And I had time in my life playing here, and I got hurt and ended up couldn't play anymore. But luckily, I did have another year in my contract. So the Buzzards actually they put me to work in their front office, to PR and do different things like that. And that's where I kind of learned the business side and the other side of hockey. So as I was doing that, I was volunteering for the Junior Buzzards program, and I was still friends with all the guys, so I had all the guys come out, and so at the end of that year, I really had nothing to do but basically go back to the farm and work there, and I met Brian Kennedy and the El Paso Sports Commission. He goes, hey. Would you want to take this over? I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll take it over. So I get on the phone with my dad. I go, hey, Dad, I'm not going back to the farm. He goes, what are you doing? He says, oh, no, I'm going to, take over a youth hockey program. I'm going to start this up. He goes, son, have you run a business before? I go, yeah, I remember I had that lawn cutting business. And he goes, no, you're cutting grass for all your relatives. That's not a lawn cutting business. So anyways, he gave me this advice. He gave me this advice. He goes, son, you've never done this before, but if you surround yourself with really smart people, they're going to make you look good. So started forming a staff. The El Paso Hockey Association started, and I remember the very first registration. I'm all gung ho. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're going to start this. I'm all gung ho. And 30 kids showed up for the first registration. I was like, man, this is, this is going to be tough. But after that first year, we started organizing things, and it started slowly building and building and building and building. And then the Buzzards left. And then luckily, they kept the ice in for us at the Coliseum, and we ran everything out of the Coliseum. And they kept the ice in. However, that year, the ice plant failed, and to fix the Coliseum and to put ice back in would have been a monumental task. So my younger brother was here, and we walked over to the Equestrian Center, and I was like, man, this would be perfect to build an ice rink in. It wasn't really being used. So we made a proposal, went down the county commissioner's court, and they all said, yeah, you can do her. Perfect. Okay, here we go. So now we need the money. And I was like, man, okay. So we go to bank, and everybody's like, no, and I don't know how many banks it was. And I remember this one banker said to me, he goes, so the Buzzards had an owner, he was a multi-millionaire. What makes you think, some guy from Saskatchewan, what makes you think you can do this? And I was like, I think I can. And so then Les Parker, I met Les Parker. He was the president of United Bank. And I walked in there, and he gave me 5 minutes of his time. And I told him, I was like, this is what I want to do. He says, you know what? We'll do it for you. So we started transforming the event center into the ice rink, and it took time and time. And after the first year, we're like, the thing we got to do is we got to bring a hockey team here. We got to figure out a way to bring a hockey team here. And growing up in Canada, we have junior hockey, and junior hockey is what the Rhinos are today. But junior hockey is that bridge between high school hockey and your NCAA Division I scholarship or your pro contract. And the guys are 18, 19, 20 years old. And it's very, very popular in Canada. And these guys are the guys that are going up. Like, they have a future ahead of them. And so we brought the Rhinos. And you know, the rink still wasn't done. The guys were dressing in a circus tent in the corner. And you know, however, you know, and I remember being on some road trips and coming home, and I was like, man, like, is this going to work? But we kept going and going, and what happened was we kept winning, and the biggest hurdle we had when we brought the Rhinos was the Buzzards were considered professional hockey, and everybody's like, well, it's not professional hockey. But once they saw these guys play, like these guys come down here with all they want is just a dream to play hockey, to get their Division I scholarship. But once the fans started seeing it, they really became hooked on these guys. So we sat there, and now the staff is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know. And you know, like, there's two members of our staff here, Corey Heon and Mike Rivera. And like, one thing I can say about our staff, and there's a lot of them now, is that they truly care. So so we need a plan to get more fans. So we sit there and we think, you know what we'll do is, after the games, we're going to have all the fans and all the kids be able to skate with the players, and this way we'll be able to grow all the other programs. Because once we grow all the other programs, you know, it's just like a big circle. So, oh man, I'm sorry. So anyways, we do all this. We get more fans, and we start growing the sport and growing the sport and growing the sport. And I'm sorry, I ran out of time. But it's honestly, it's a truly an honor to be here. And thank you very much. I truly appreciate it.
We have some back here. Corey Herman, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne, I got to give you a lot of credit. I've done a lot of these before, and I've seen people go way longer than that, and we always used to let them go. This is a first. I'm very, very, very impressed and actually shocked that you've been able to pull this off. And I can't wait to see how the next three go, starting with our final member of the coach administrator category. Now, this young lady was an incredible high school athlete. In fact, it says coach administrator, but truthfully, she was a great basketball player, terrific basketball player at El Paso High. In fact, how good was she? Well, yeah, she started, but that wasn't the big thing. She was co-captain. Her team also was the district championship team in 1990. She had all district honors, all city honors, all district academic honors. In fact, when we were talking yesterday, my biggest question is, why didn't you coach basketball? Why volleyball? Because there's nothing in her player background that even brings volleyball up. So it's still a shock to me. But I got to tell you, it just goes to show you that if you love sports and you're good at it, you can coach whatever you want, right? Because she started coaching basketball, but then she moved to volleyball. And I'll tell you what, since she has been at El Paso High, dominance is the best way to put it also. I said dominant earlier about Natalia. Well, same thing with Yesenia. In fact, 9 district titles, 13 by-district championships, 4 area championships. She's won the El Paso Times Coach of the Year not once but twice. In fact, 465 career wins, which means she's closing in on another milestone, which would be 500 for her on her career. And she could do it as soon as next season because she's very active and thriving right now in the world of high school volleyball. So it gives me an honor and privilege to welcome up here to the podium Yesenia Alarcon Ortega. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm going to need this a little bit taller right here.
Here, I can adjust it for you. Oh, that was good. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. Good evening. I would like to begin by congratulating my fellow inductees. Once again, it has been a memorable experience and one that I will never forget. Thank you all. To the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame organization, I am truly grateful for this amazing honor and appreciative of the endless work you pour into this organization, honoring hardworking and dedicated athletes, athletic administrators, athletic trainers, officials, media members, and coaches. A heartfelt thank you to Coach Marion Bennett and Hall of Fame committee members who believed I was deserving of this honor. It is challenging for me to truly grasp that I am standing here in front of everyone this evening. This seems like an unreachable dream. First and foremost, I thank God, because it is through God that I am standing here. I did not get here alone. My coaching journey includes many special people I consider my team. A few members of this impactful team join me this evening, including my dear family, siblings, and close friends, 4 to 5 tables worth. I am grateful for each one of you. Thank you all for celebrating with me today. My coaching career might have looked very different. Looking back to the year 2004, I had just been hired as an assistant coach at my alma mater, El Paso High. Coach Morales, who is now at Chapin High School, offered me the JV position, which I was fired up for, and I couldn't wait to get started. So the grind begins. Not sure what brought this on, but soon after I was hired, Coach Ramos, who just retired from Andres High School, walks into the gym and mentions to Coach Morales, "I told you not to hire her." Coach Morales, thank you for not listening to Coach Ramos. I wouldn't be standing here today. Working alongside both of you are part of my favorite coaching memories. Thank you. But what truly brought me to this coaching profession, being involved in sports throughout my middle and high school years planted a competitive seed. As I transitioned to high school, I met a woman who would impact my life and toughen me up, Diana de la Cruz, my high school basketball coach. What I learned under her direction would drive me into the player and coach I became. I am truly fortunate to have been coached by her. Part of this honor I share with my coach. Thank you, Coach. Becoming a leader under her direction is where the thought of coaching came to life. I loved winning. I really love winning. I never backed down from working hard, and more importantly, I would get the opportunity to impact young girls' lives. My coaching journey has been exciting, adventurous, with plenty of nicks and scratches. However, being able to witness my student athletes grow and become champions is immeasurable. Beyond the game, seeing our athletes thrive, chase their dreams with tenacity and confidence makes it even more rewarding. Thankfully, my coaching journey includes hardworking assistant coaches. Veronica Prado, if you can please stand. Sarah Keeson, Araceli Monares, Erica Quintero, and Ana Cisneros, who join me today. Thank you. I share this honor with all of you. Thank you so much. Now, to the voices that spoke greatness to me and picked me up when the road was heavy. Beginning with my mentors, Sandra Terrazas, please stand. Roberta Hack, who is not here, and Lourdes Ramirez. Your encouragement, advice, and friendship holds a special place in my heart. I appreciate you. To the leader of our family, my mother. Mom, thank you for taking every step with me, for your protection, and for providing the example of what working hard looks like. No one looks better in orange and black than you, Mom. The passion for the game of volleyball comes from my brother, Bob. The whole time you were dominating that volleyball court, I was taking notes. You continue to inspire me. I am thankful and blessed to have you by my side. I love you. To my favorite coach, my husband, David, your love, your support and prayers help me more than you know. You are always ready to listen and lift me up. Thank you for protecting me, believing in me, and showering me with your love and your compassion. I love you. Being inducted to the El Paso Hall of Fame is an honor and a privilege, and I lovingly dedicate and share this honor with my son, Robert Ray. Thank you for sharing me with the hundreds of young ladies I have had the privilege of coaching. Thank you for supporting me in chasing my dreams, this being a major one. I am confident that you experienced and witnessed what chasing a dream looks like. So keep chasing yours. Yes, even if opening at Coachella is on that list. Robert Ray, you are my biggest smile. I love you, son. I will never forget this experience. Thank you all for the amazing support.
Okay. It's Coach Yesenia Alarcon Ortega. It's time now for the trainer official category. And this man is in a very, very distinguished and small club. Because the truth is that even though we've combined trainers and officials every year for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, there are very few trainers that are actually in the hall itself. But he is joining that very special club. In fact, somebody who goes back to the days of one of the greatest trainers ever, if not the greatest trainer ever here in El Paso, the legendary Ross Moore, who he had a chance to work under here in the 1970s. And when Ross passed away, he started working with Don Forster. And it was all about football and, get this, gymnastics. Because that's right. In the 1970s, UTEP had a gymnastics program, something that many people, including myself, were not aware of. However, in addition to gymnastics and football, he worked in baseball, basketball, and track. And, of course, UTEP track and cross country in those years was some of the most dominant programs in the nation, winning national championships and just dominating track and field. He was a part of that. But he graduated UTEP, went out to Georgia, Port Lavaca, Texas, but found himself back in El Paso in the late 1980s. In fact, it wasn't that long afterwards, he started working at Eastwood High School. And what a career it's been. 30 years at Eastwood. And then you think about all the ankles he's taped. I think I heard 25,000 taped ankles. Now, I can't decide. That's a lot of ankles. but that's really a lot of tape. So 111 playoff appearances in all their big sports, state runner-up in girls golf, state championships in wrestling. That's right, Natalia, wrestling as well as cross country. And now he welcomes all of us in the class of 2025 for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome up Scott Smelser. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you. I've had the privilege of probably taping some of your kids' ankles, or even some of these down here. Don't know for 100% sure or not, but it is truly an honor to be inducted into this class of 2025 with all these other members. I'm kind of a extroverted introvert. Shortly after I was notified of my selection, I received a call from Ben Avalos congratulating me on this honor. He reminded me to keep my speech short. I think he has some kind of pickleball event coming on, so I'm going to try to do my best. But I would like to borrow from Gail Sayers' book, I Am Third, and these are not necessarily his exact words, but Gail states, "My God is first." And I would like to thank the Lord God Almighty for allowing me to be here and guide me along the path that I have traveled today, and for giving me the direction on my chosen profession. Actually, it chose me. And given me the courage to continue even when times seemed impossible. And Sayers continues by saying, "My friends, family are second." I would like to recognize and thank a few individuals who have encouraged me along the way. First of all, I know he's not here. He's in Houston. The one that got me really started in this, John Harvey, who was my high school athletic trainer until he went to Texas Southern University. He did recruit me also for when I was 16 to help with the World Football League as an intern under Jim Garrett, who was Jason Garrett's dad, as the head coach. And so then, as we talked about, the late Ross Moore. Also Dave Binder and Don Hearn, who helped me along the way to prepare for getting my license, especially Dawn. She would be out at football practice drilling me on questions and getting me started on this. My brother, who probably owes airtime to the Jumbotron, Don, my sister-in-law Celeste, my sister Dana, who came in from Austin, and my brother-in-law Mike Johnson, my sister-in-law Frances Esparza, my friend Coach Jerry Knaufel, who was at one time like just met me, and then 48 hours later we were doing the third segment of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, kind of my ride and die buddy, and I'm driving his parents' car, by the way. Okay. And then I would like to welcome new to UTEP, Mr. C.J. Potter, who is now the head athletic trainer for UTEP. Welcome. Last but not least, the axle and the spokes in my wheels. My beautiful wife, Patricia, who is leading another life somewhere as Priscilla. My son James, and my daughter Samantha, who just graduated from Eastwood this year. Now, Gail continues with the last part of his quote, "I am third." So that's where I talk about me a little bit. And as you know, I started on this path when I was entering junior high school and I fractured my arm. And I was unable to play. And I wanted to take this time to thank my parents for supporting my siblings and myself, for allowing us to pursue our dreams and supporting us along the way. I think my mom was very happy that I did fracture my arm, because I don't think she wanted me playing football in the first place. And as I said, I was introduced to John Harvey, who mentored me at an early age, at like 13 years of age, in the practice of athletic training. After high school, I came on to UTEP, and I mentioned that with Don and Dave Binder helping me out a little bit. And then I was in Stewart County, Georgia, where I coached high school baseball, and then got hired on as a football coach. I don't know why, because I didn't know much about football, but they scored a touchdown after I made a suggestion, so they moved me up to varsity. And then to Port Lavaca, Texas, where I taught PE in the middle school, and football and tennis for the middle school. The road led me back to El Paso, where I coached at Ranchland Hills for 1 year before getting my license, and then the rest coming into Eastwood High School. As he mentioned, that we had a lot of titles, and I'm not going to mention all the UTEP stuff, but we had 11 playoff appearances in football. Boys basketball had 17, girls basketball had 18, boys soccer had 4 playoff appearances, girls soccer had 19 appearances. Volleyball had a total of 26 playoff appearances, with an impressive 16 consecutive appearances between 1990 and 2005. Softball had a total of 11 playoff appearances, baseball 5 playoff appearances, and I also got to work with a bunch of Hall of Famers in itself, with Steve Flato, Bobby Leslie, Ben Avalos, and Gary Pippen. In closing, I would like to not only accept this honor for myself, but to share it with the many hardworking athletic trainers in El Paso, Las Cruces, and Alamogordo. And these guys work tirelessly with our youths to promote the vital profession. We actually have a student organization, and they do state competitions. And so with that, I want to thank you. I mean, I was still waiting for the Sinatra song, because I like Sinatra, but my luck, it's going to be Nancy Sinatra's Boots Were Made for Walking. So thank you all.
Smelser, everybody. Our final Hall of Fame inductee tonight is in the posthumous class, and it's Leon Wade, someone that has incredible history here in El Paso, where he grew up, went to Burgess High, but he also graduated in high school in Germany, actually, and did a little bit of everything: football, track. He broke a national record in track. In fact, track is why we're here today, to honor Leon. In fact, when he was at UTEP, he played football and he played track, and then became the head coach for track and field at Parkland High School, and did that from 1976 to 1995. So you think about that 20-year period and what Coach accomplished. First district title in school history. He did that in 1991. In fact, District Coach of the Year in both 1991 and his final year in 1995. But that's really when Leon Wade's life took a different chapter. He started his own Junior Olympics track club, called it the Northeast Shooting Stars. And the Northeast Shooting Stars exploded. It was so popular, so many kids wanted to be part of it, that he changed it to the Texas Shooting Stars. And that is really one of the great achievements, but if you knew Leon Wade, you're not surprised. He just had that kind of an impact on so many young people. He was also involved with USA Track and Field, youth chairman here for the Border Association, did that for nearly 10 years, then became the regional president for the organization. He was also somebody that spent many years here at El Paso Community College, both in marketing, community relations, and somebody that just loved to talk about El Paso and make El Paso his home. Here to talk about Leon Wade and remember him again is his son, Lawrence. I'd like to welcome up to the podium to talk more about our Hall of Famer, Leon Wade.
So who all in here knew my dad? Right, by show of hands. Yeah, that looks about right. My dad knew everybody. And he knew so many people that we would go places and people knew me, but I didn't know them. And I got people call, hey, Lawrence, hey, how you doing? And I'm shaking hands and saying hi. I have no idea who these people are. And that would just happen so much just throughout my whole life. But as you all know, my dad recently passed away. We lost him 5 months ago. It's been tough, but I know that he would want me here making this speech for him, so I'm glad I could do it. I want to give gratitude and acknowledgement to the Hall of Fame committee, those who are responsible for nominating my dad. Thank you. This is a celebration of a life achievement for him, a major life achievement for him that will never be forgotten. My dad would truly be honored and humbled to be a part of this induction. A few coaches that I want to mention who were influential along the way, who were a part of my dad's life, and mine as well, because I ran for the Shooting Stars as well. Coach Sam Clemens, Coach Trent Gamble, Coach Bishop, Coach David Thurman, Dwayne Chapman, and one of my favorites who's in the building, Coach McKinney. Yeah, one of the best hurdle coaches out there. It's not easy being a coach's son. Like, I know how long the loop is from 375 loop is from Montana to Highway 54 right at Trans Mountain. And I don't know it from driving it. I know exactly how long it is from running it. Sometimes on a Saturday morning, we'd get up and we'd hop in the vehicle, the truck, and we had some of the neighbors who would want to come running with us. And, two of them came with us that day. Where are we going today? Dad said, come on, y'all will see. He never told us where we were going. And we went to Trans Mountain, right at the base of the mountain. And he dropped us off and drove up a mile. So we ran up a mile. He was in the truck there. We got some water. He looked at the time. And then he drove up 2 more miles. And 2 of these kids, they didn't run track, but they just wanted to come out with us. Those kids, they never came with us again after that. That was it. Yeah. Dad helped thousands of kids over the last 40 years obtain track scholarships and cross-country scholarships. And I'm pretty sure the amount of money, it's just a huge amount of money that he's helped people get through college with, by helping them obtain scholarships. I'm one of them. My sister is here tonight. She's one of them, a scholarship recipient, and so is my brother. So he has 3 kids who all obtained scholarships, who all went to college and graduated. So I'm sure that he was very proud of that. I know he was proud of that. I'm just happy to be here to be able to do this for him. And I was hoping that I can get through this without breaking down, and it looks like I did it. Thank you.
Leon Wade, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, very nice. I have been told that we are going to be giving away this very large bottle of wine. This wine actually has the class of 2025 with everybody's name, all the Hall of Famers. It's a beautiful bottle. It's a very heavy bottle. And if you did, in fact, enter the drawing, please take out your pink raffle tickets. And the winner of the bottle of wine is number 235294. 235294. Really? Well, that's fitting.
You waited all that time?
Corey Herman, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing Corey just asked is, do I get to finish my speech now? That was good, Corey. Very, very nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to let everybody know that at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, August the 13th, the unveiling ceremony for the class of 2025 plaques will be happening at the Don Haskins Center on the campus of UTEP. And special thanks again to Ricky Nichols for his great help along with his team. So again, Wednesday, August the 13th, 6 o'clock at the Don Haskins Center. My second favorite special announcement of the night, you know what the first one was about the fake social media handles. This one is even better. Please do not take the table centerpieces so we can use them again next year. And please remain in your seats until the presidential pledge. All right, now we would like to bring each of our inductees up on the stage one last time. And please, if you can, bring your souvenir plaque with you for the official Hall of Fame photo when we call your name. Don't forget, you can keep your table tent also, and all the photos from today will be on our website at ElPasoAthleticHallOfFame.com and on our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram accounts. Hey, Ruben, what, no TikTok? No? No Snapchat? Not yet? Just Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Next year, Snapchat, TikTok, and X. Well, Twitter is X. Yes, we are on X. That is good. Okay, let's bring up the Hall of Fame inductees for our class of 2025 group photo, beginning with Joe Minch. Bobby Rodriguez Kirkley. Kendra Chambers Coleman. Kerman. Coach Yesenia Alarcon Ortega. Thank you also to the Coach Ortega fan club in attendance here tonight as well. Scott Smelzer. And posthumous, Leon Wade, represented by his children, his son Lawrence and his daughter Brandy Wade. All right, Brian. I'm cueing you now, Brian.
All right. It's all about center.
If we could now also please bring up our presenting sponsors from the El Paso Sports Commission. They will also be taking photos with our Hall of Fame class of 2025. President Janet Vargas and sports tourism strategist Tony Rodriguez. We'd also like to recognize our County Judge, Ricardo Samaniego, who's also here for the photo. Thank you. And finally, we would like to bring up our Hall of Fame board. They will take photos with the Hall of Famers. That's President Ruben Ramirez, Vice President Ray Adato, Secretary Donna Carter, as well as immediate past President Dr. Scott Stein. Somehow Wayne Thornton avoided this photo op. Don't know how he pulled that off.
It's all right.
Your best side?
I'm sure everybody's tired of seeing my face right now. Great.
Thank you again. Now we'll get the opportunity to wrap things up with the President's Pledge. And on behalf of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, we have President Ruben Ramirez here to say some final words.
Once again, on behalf of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, our 2025 class, thank you all so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate your attendance here. On this stage are some of the brightest stars we have ever known, and now you take your rightful place in sports history. And on behalf of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame Board and its voting members, let me now officially declare you and hereby now enshrined as the newest members of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, class of 2025. To the class of 2025, we say congratulations for all you have accomplished, and thank you all you have meant, and for all you have meant to our city, our state, and our nation. Thank you, El Paso Sports Commission, and thanks to the great board. Thanks to Steve Kaplowitz, as you're the best in what you do. Good night. Thank you for coming. God bless you all, and we hope to see every one of you back here next year. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.